Leviathan is the tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster in all of Canada. Located at Canada's Wonderland, this coaster is actually my favorite roller coaster. The coaster is Canada's only gate coaster with a height of 306 feet and a speed of 92 miles per hour. I feel like this coaster does not get the appreciation it deserves. My appreciation for Leviathan started back in 2014 when I was on vacation in Ontario. I was on my way to see someone who lived in a nearby city, and at the time I had been to a very few amount of parks, and almost every single one of them only had one roller coaster in them, with an exception of Sandspit and the Mall of America. But I thought the Mall of America was just a special case. I used to think parks would have at most 3 to 4 roller coasters, and the rides would be at most 50 feet tall. So seeing the roller coasters tower above me while we were driving by took my breath away. I thought Behemoth looked cool, but what really stole the show for me was Leviathan. I had a perfect view of Leviathan's first drop and Dragonfire's 2 loops. That day, I really gained an appreciation for roller coasters. As soon as we made it to our destination, they showed us about the different coasters and told me the name of the 2 coasters, Leviathan and Behemoth. She said the height and speed in metric unit, and at the time, I only really understood Imperial because I only watched American YouTubers, so I only really understood the Imperial, not metric. But I remember really wanting to ride Leviathan and being scared of Behemoth, which I know that didn't make sense. I was 12. The next day, which was the day that we were going to go to Canada's Wonderland, it started absolutely downpouring. So we had to cancel our plans and go to the nearby Legoland Center, which I still enjoyed. But if I knew that's what was replacing Canada's Wonderland, I probably would not have loved it. But that has sparked me to constantly watch videos about Leviathan, which ultimately led me to being an enthusiast. Though I lost my coaster passion about 2015, 2016, and I regained it back in 2020 by riding Rock and Roller Coaster, which funny enough, I rode it 1 week before the lockdown. Both my backstory with Leviathan and appreciation for Leviathan has made me have a soft spot for the ride too. Once I got back into coasters, it became my goal to get on Leviathan. 2020 and 2021, I was not able to get to the park due to the pandemic. Then 2022 finally came along and I was able to get to the park. One thing I have to say about Canada's Wonderland is the views you get from the parking lot is insane. And after seeing videos of Leviathan for so long, seeing it in person was incredibly surreal. On the lift hill of Leviathan, my fear for the ride really kicked in. Despite having the chain lift go as fast as it did, it felt endless. Right as we got to the crest of Lift Hill, I shouted, "Why did I do this?" And then we started plummeting downwards. The drop looks quick in the point of view, but it felt like you were floating for a good minute. Once the pullout started, you quickly go right back into your seat and go flying through a tunnel. This is probably where you felt that 4.5 Gs. You sped right through that tunnel and into a really weird looking turnaround thing that was a bit more forceful than I expected it to be. Then you flew right into a speed hill. My experience was different than lots of people's experience because I swear I got a mix of laterals and ejector on that hill. If you ask most people though, they say they only got float around, but I remember it being ejector. This hill, or Wicked Cyclone's off-axis airtime hill, is probably my favorite element of all time. Now this is something that is very much a visual thing, but I love how it goes from a tiny little speed hill right into a 183 foot airtime hill where you get 4 to 6 seconds of pure floater to flojector airtime, and flying downwards just felt like you were plummeting. And once you get down this hill, you go down right into a terrifying head chopper. And that leads you to what I found to be like a really weird looking turnaround. That turnaround is right by the front entrance, which when you're in line to go to the park, that turnaround provides amazing views. Then after that turn, you head into a speed hill. I've heard some people call it a dud. Sure, it has no airtime, but it serves its purpose of being incredibly fast. Right into another airtime hill. It may have been the fact that it was like 40 degrees Celsius, but I swear it flew right over that second airtime hill. It felt like a mix of airtime and just pure speed. Then a turnaround into the brake run. My only con of this ride is I wish it had 1 or 2 more bunny hills or an intense helix, but in my opinion, that is just a nitpick. And I stand by the fact that the brake run is not that bad, but due to this pure speed and the intensity, I had tears. The coaster that I, for 8 years, have really wanted to do, I had finally accomplished. And ever since then, I had loved that coaster way more. With my attachment to this coaster and my appreciation for Canadian roller coasters and amusement parks, this place really just seems like a gold mine compared to the rest of the parks out here. Don't get me wrong, I love that run in Sandspit, but Canada's Wonderland and Leviathan surpasses anything else you can find in Canada. It has stuff that you usually can only find in America. So, to have it here in Canada just feels kind of special. I would rank Leviathan as a 10. I could not rank it any lower. It just feels sacrilegious to do so. This coaster will always have a special place in my heart. I don't think I could ever allow myself to rank anything above it. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, it would mean a lot to me if you were to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much and have a great day.